Hello, and welcome to Your Brand Express podcast, the podcast where business owners, authors, coaches get a chance to articulate their processes and how they express their brands. With your hosts, Carl and CJ Aline. Get your favorite cup of coffee or tea and get a notepad and enjoy the ride. Are you a coach, author, speaker, or service provider who is afraid of speaking on camera? Join the Confident Video Star Nation to overcome your fear. Connect with other professionals, gain access to exclusive resources, trainings, and tools, and learn the skills to become a confident video star. Join now and start your journey to success. Go to Facebook and type in Confident Video Star Nation and join the nation today.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome back, everybody, to Your Brand Express podcast, season 2. We're here with a special guest, Izzy. Izzy, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
That's good. What do you think, Dad? I hope I did a good impression.
Oh, you did it. You
Awesome.
did it. You nailed it. Fantastic.
Awesome. I tried to
I'm
take
doing well,
inspired.
Izzy.
Awesome. Yeah. So welcome back. A lot of people do not know who you are from last season because some people are tuning in now. So can you do a quick intro of who you are and what you do?
Yes. My name is Izzy Whitney, and I am an author. So far, I've written 3 books, and I'm super excited to be here.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that? 3 books?
Yes.
Crazy.
Boom.
That's awesome. This is so awesome. I can't wait. We're excited to have you on this podcast. Before we jump in, real quick, how old are you again? Just so people have context.
I'm 10.
Woo!
So I hope you guys connected the dots. Just hope you guys. Yeah, this isn't just your average. Yeah, so this is awesome. I feel honored to have you on this episode. We feel honored, and yeah, let's get started.
Yes.
One question I have, what inspired you to write your new book, your 3rd book, Confidence is Key? What inspired you to make that book?
I really wanted to help girls feel better about themselves and to show that you don't have to be the beauty standard, and you don't have to have all of this trending stuff to be beautiful and be amazing.
Wow. Stuff. Yeah, I mean, shoot, I have a sister, and I know just in general, well, from my perspective, from what I can imagine, there's a lot of unneeded expectations that is placed on young girls and just women in general to have this beauty standard to try to meet the mark of or whatever. So this is awesome. This is really awesome. You said that. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's just, it's one of those things where there are a lot of conversations that need to happen, of course. I mean, in the world, tons of conversations, right? But one of those conversations, yeah, confidence in between girls. And I gotta say, Izzy, I started reading your book, and I think I'll get into it later on, but I think I got me a favorite chapter so far. So I love what you're talking about. It's brilliant. It's so helpful. It's so timely. It's so needed now. So thank you for writing it. I mean, I'm not a tween girl, but as an adult, I'm like, woo. I took notes. I've been taking notes so far.
Great principles. We love that.
Great principles.
Thank you so much.
Yes. So that's fantastic, Izzy. Can you share a personal story about a time when your confidence was shaken and how you overcame it?
So 2 summers ago, I was at one of my best friend's house, and like 2 other girls, and they like all had super fit bodies because they like do dance or soccer, and I didn't have that kind of body type, which is perfectly fine. And I was just very self-conscious because they all like had the same body type, and I was the only one. I was like the odd one out in that situation. And my friends noticed that, so they're like, you know what? I love that swimsuit on you. You look so good. And that really boosted my confidence. And then I didn't have one single thought of how I looked when I was swimming in purple.
That's
That's
awesome.
fantastic. Yeah.
There's a couple of things to really circle on. Like, I think even for you in that moment, like you might have felt a sense of just like wanting to compare and like what you can see. But to have friends like that, that build you up and
Right.
remind you who you are sometimes is just you need that. Everybody needs that, because there are times where our confidence will be shaken, and
Right.
we have friends to kind of. I feel like just a little bit of encouragement from a friend just goes a long way. Just it does something to you. It just reminds you, and I love that. That's really cool. You said that.
Thank you.
Right. It also shows the friends that you keep too. You got to make good choices with the friends that you have around you. And yeah, if I have to have some friends that would help you out in that way, encourage you in that way, that's powerful. But also you to have that mindset too. Just even, I mean, the fact that you wrote a book, one, I mean, that's huge. But
Three.
to have that right, 3 books, I'm sorry, 3 books. Oh my goodness. That's a big, big deal. And so many youth and adults can learn from that.
Yeah.
So.
If okay, I got another question. So if you're talking to, let's say, because your audience obviously goes across 3 books, we're gonna keep emphasizing that, y'all. But let's say you wanted to give advice for just a girl that, or like a tween teenager girl that wants struggling with their confidence. They need some advice and just some practices to feel more confident. What would you say are your top examples of how to do so?
Okay, so number one, don't care what anyone thinks. If someone is like, say that you like to collect rocks or seashells, and like someone goes up to you like that's weird, they're probably just like jealous of you. And I know that you hear that all the time, but it's true. And don't let that get to you. And that goes along with put yourself first and then your friends second. Because if your friend's being mean to you, but you have respect for yourself, that won't get to you. And also, my third tip is wear something that makes you confident, but it's also safe. Because I feel like some people don't they have confident clothes that make them feel confident, but it's not safe.
Hmm.
And um, I just want to make sure that everyone's safe. And but if you have a uniform at your school, which I do, you could add like a bracelet, some earrings if that's allowed, or you could wear your favorite socks or something, or your favorite shoes. And those are my 3 main tips that I would say.
Love it.
Yeah, I gotta say, your confidence is really glowing. Like I can tell, you just seem so confident just in the way you speak. And at that young age, that is I think around that age is when you transition to higher grades. And when you're younger, everybody's like friends and like nobody cares. But then you get older, you're around people that actually care. So I love that you have the mindset is just it doesn't matter what you think if I like it, that motivated me, that inspires me. So
Thank
think when I
you.
walk outside, I'm walk with some confidence.
Confidence. Yes. I mean, what you just did right there, that sounds like a tutorial.
Yeah.
A tutorial, and that's really cool. I love it. I love what you're doing. Just even in this episode, you are sharing, you are dropping, as we say, you are dropping gems.
Gems.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
So, you also talk about journaling. How can journaling help tween girls create positive self-talk and conquer their fears? Because positive self-talk, that's so important,
It
but it's
is.
just so hard to do.
Mm.
I love that question. That's a very good question.
Oh,
Um,
good.
but what I would do is I would think of everything that I'm insecure about. I would write it down on one side of the paper and I draw a little arrow. That's like if you're insecure about your hands, you're like you write on the right side, I'm insecure about my hands. And then on the left side, my hands are beautiful. And instead of just
Mm.
saying my hands are ugly, you say your hands are beautiful. And you might not believe it at first, but if you keep doing it, you will believe it.
Mm. Mm. CJ, I think I heard persistence in there. You got to be persistent.
That's
Yes.
wow. I that's a gem I need to apply to myself. I think wow. I hope you guys caught that too. I hope you guys make sure you guys are rewinding this stuff because this is just great information we're hearing right now. But no, that I love that. I love the fact because there are some things that you can say to yourself that you might not believe at first. Like there's some things that you can say that it might sound delusional to yourself. Like it's just like what? Like what am I saying? Like what am I saying this for? Maybe that's why people haven't started doing that. But
Right.
after a course of time, you start saying that to yourself, and the way you talk to yourself is the way that you believe in yourself. And I think that's just wow. I love the way you put that. That was awesome.
I mean, it's brilliant too. I think about it because we are always talking to ourselves, but most of the things we say to ourselves are negative.
Mm.
But even taking count of the and keeping track of the positive things we say to ourselves, sometimes it's easy just to think about the negative and not the positive. But even by the act of writing it down and having two categories and visually watching it, that's just such an exercise. And like CJ mentioned, it's easy to think, well, what's the purpose of that? But it's things like that that may not seem attractive to people, but it makes such a big deal. I'm applying this
Yeah. No, immediately. I need to
immediately,
I need to journal some stuff like that too.
right?
Wow. That's awesome. It's almost like you're catching what you're saying. It's like, oh no, we ain't doing that. You're catching it by the tail and just putting it down. And eventually you're gonna
Mm,
start feeling the opposite of what you were criticizing yourself of.
right,
Love that.
right.
Yes.
Sure, I like that. I like that analogy too, because our thoughts are wild.
hmm Running wild. Yeah, that's that man. I don't know. I'm just so
Mm.
excited right now. That's awesome. Okay, Izzy, in your book, you talked about stepping out of your comfort zone. What are some examples of ways we could do that in our everyday lives as tweens and teenagers?
Um, I would do these three things. The first thing I would do is talk to someone new. Because I know at my school I definitely stick to the same friend group. And this second semester I really want to talk to new people, really get to know new people. And that's really hard at first, especially if they're new to the school or if you just don't talk to them. And sometimes it's good to expand your circle of friends. And I would also ask a question in school because I would ask a question in school because a lot of the times you have a question, but you're too scared to answer it or to ask for help. And it's really hard. I get that. I get like, should I ask it? But
Hmm.
you have to ask questions to get out of your comfort zone. And I would also just compliment a stranger or someone that goes to your school and be like, I like your outfit today. And they'd be like, thank you. So those are my top three things I would do to get out of my comfort zone.
Mm.
That's awesome. And I like how you put those through because all those are like out of ourselves, you know? It's like it's out of what you're familiar with, like with your circle. Talking to somebody or just like asking questions that people might be afraid to ask too. But no, these are good things because I think all of them are out of yourself, but when you do it, you're kind of encouraging someone else to feel more confident, more just loose, and they can just let their arms down. They don't have to feel they have to protect or anything. Like that's awesome. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool because, one of the most important things in my opinion are to be able to take steps, as whatever you're wrestling with life, but to be able to have simple practical steps that you can take but are so solid. I think about when I'm going out to in a place like even at church, I go to church and I could see someone, I can meet someone new, someone who might be sitting by themselves. And I can go over and shake their hand and greet them and things like that. It's like those what we call basic things. Those are the important things to do. They're so important, but it's so easy to miss them. So I think that's definitely key. But you're being intentional when you're doing it. You're
Yeah.
saying, you know what? I'm when I be even before I walk into a building or go to a place or a mall or whatever, I can make a decision to do something before I go and then have fun and challenge myself and make it light. Have fun with it. So I love that. Love these, Izzy. This is great.
Yes.
Now I love this question. This is my question. I love this one. Which is your favorite chapter and why? Really, two questions.
Okay, so my favorite chapter is why seeing your BFF happy can make you feel a little bit bummed. Because I used to feel like that so much in fourth grade and third grade
Mm,
because we usually get a new student every year, and my best friend is so kind, and she's like, "Oh, I want to go talk to them. I want to go hang out with them." So we go over there, but like sometimes um they're not. You're not gonna be friends with anyone with everybody. So it doesn't work out, but they're hanging out all the time. So I felt sad, and I would just be so sad throughout the day. And then I realized I could just talk to her, and we can have play dates by ourselves, and everything is gonna be okay because we're best friends. And it's also, and also for me, it was really hard to see her happy with somebody else that isn't me, especially since I've known her since I was 4. And and I think it's important that it's very important that you make new friends too, because if she's making new friends, why can't you?
Right.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, that's great. You know, I look forward to reading that chapter. I'm excited about that. But I think, just, as a grown up, as an adult, it's these things are important to think about. But even as an adult, a lot of us have a hard time with that. So these are great principles for us to apply to be intentional with having best friends and just really friending people. I think that's really brilliant. I wanted to share something if that's okay. I wrote down some notes. I love um trying to find this real quick. I love the chapter. I mean, I'm like, oh man, chapter 2. I was thinking about that. You talked about taming your inner bully. Now I'm kind of torn because I'm like, chapter 3 is amazing, but chapter 2, I love when you talked about that. And I just think that's so brilliant. Like you have such great principles in this book. And I was just really impressed by that. And that made me really think and reflect. Like literally, I wrote notes down on my phone. Like I have 2 columns and I wrote what you said and what you wrote, but also on the other side, I'm like, man, how does that apply to me? Like I'm really breaking this down for myself. So this book is really, really cool. But it's really cool to hear your favorite chapter. Thanks for sharing that insight.
Yeah. Nah, that is a struggle. It doesn't. I wouldn't necessarily say it goes away when you get older, because there are some people that wrestle with it too. Yeah. But I can vividly remember that they see my friend venture off and stuff. It was just like, what? Like this,
Yeah,
we're supposed to. But
right.
I love how you came up with a balance. That these are great things to have at your age, because a lot of people like kind of struggle with it. It's not really taught.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that's what's brilliant about, even books and books that can talk about these subjects because yeah, they're not talked about in school, right? Or they might be talked about even in a public service announcement, but it's like some people don't pay attention to that one, but doesn't get that in depth. There's not a lot of time to dive deep. And so when I was reading this book, it's like, wow, this is really diving deep.
Yeah.
Like CJ mentioned, it's really cool to have that balance and to be able to make that choice that you can have a balance. It doesn't need to be either or. You could say, hey, why can't I? I could befriend other people as well. So love it. Love it.
I got a question. What do you so with you writing these books, what do you hope that these tween, teen, and young girls will take away from reading this book, Confidence is Key?
Um, I really hope that they take away. You don't have to be um you don't have to be the beauty standard for anything to be beautiful. I know I already said that, but that's very important to me. And if you're stuck like, okay, so this is the beauty standard. I'm gonna work out so I can look like this. And then a month later it's something different. So you keep trying to change yourself. And by the time you get to that beauty standard, there's something else. And it's just a cycle and you're just gonna be unhappy throughout. So you just should be yourself and love your body and love yourself. And also, I feel like social media also
Mm.
is projecting that self-care days and lazy days aren't okay, but they are okay because it's something that you need. Because if you're just working and working and working and no breaks, you're gonna get burnt out, and
Hmm.
that's not good. And I hope they start journaling and stop comparing because um for me, journaling is like how I see the world. I journal so much. I have a lot of journals, and comparing is just like not good. It's just really not good. And so I hope they can realize those four things.
This is rich. These are you're getting a lot of gems to this book. I hope you guys are, if this doesn't give you out the edge of your seat to get this book, I don't know what will. But that I love that. I think these are some things that I wish I had this book when I was 10. I just want to say that. Like
Mm,
this is awesome. Just trying to navigate that, it's really hard, especially for the way social media projects it. You kind of have
right.
to, or they tell you, kind of like they want you to get in the hustle mindset of just working, 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 and they want you to compare because you see how everybody's looking on the outside. Like I've seen this thing. It was talking about how a picture is just a snapshot in the moment. It only snapshots the good, and you don't see any bad. You kind of skip away anything that they're really going through. Like this could be like how it's going right, and then right here, the good moment, they take a picture of it, and it could be a lot worse. Who knows? you know. But I love that because comparison, it could really, it's a thief of joy. That's what they say. Comparison is a thief of joy, and it's not good, like you said. I think these are great ways to kind of combat that, kind of counter it.
Mm, agreed 100%. And it's that's such a, I think, there's gonna be more talk about the whole um self-care, loving yourself. That's, I know for me, that's something that I didn't feel comfortable saying a lot because it was considered selfish or lazy, but it's so important to love yourself. And because if you can't love ourselves, how can we love other people? How can we have a frame of reference? And that's not being selfish. It's not being all about you, but knowing how to treat yourself gives you more insight on how you can treat other people. Of course, you got to understand what they need, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, but anyway, self-care is so important. It's and so it's a huge need now, especially with the way society is, where things are going so fast. And no, of course, CJ mentioned too with social media, and you mentioned social media, like so many ads and different content coming at us all at one time. And
Yeah.
so it's at such a fast rate. So I think if we need that self-care, we need it more than ever. So good on you for sharing that. Keep giving that insight. Oh, I love this question too, Izzy. Okay, this is me. I gotta put on my parent hat now. Oh, all right, here we go. Brace yourself, Carl. You ready? What advice do you have for parents who want to support their tween daughters in building unshakable confidence?
I'll take that notebook.
So I would just give them random compliments. Like
Hmm.
they're about to go hang with friends, be like, I like your hair or something. And if and like smiling at them helps too, because sometimes I feel like kids don't feel comfortable enough to talk to their parents. So I think that's also something that parents might need to build up a little bit.
Hmm.
Be like a friend, like there's be like the same age and listen to them. Like if they're talking to you about a problem or a kid being to them at school, give them real advice and listen, actively listening and comfort them. And also give them hugs and high fives. Like say they finished a homework assignment, and it took them a while, so just give them a high five, and
Hmm.
that helps a lot. It's the little things that count.
The
Little,
little things that count. Yes.
you
It's
know,
so
I
easy to forget that too.
right. That's what I'm saying. It's like because we can focus on like the bigger picture at times, but the small things, the small affirmations can go a long way. It's a snowball effect. It's
That's
real.
good. Well put. I love that idea of the snowball effect, and actually it's cool because I love that analogy because you could just picture that be in a little snowball, and those it could be compliments, hugs, high fives, fist bumps, especially when, before I think about my kids before they start their homework. I got to get them to the table to do their homework, but just say, hey, dude, great job. I appreciate you hanging in there. And, it's like being a coach. So, where you're constantly being that, or cheerleader, you're constantly cheerleading that kid, that team, and that team is that child or that youth or that tween, so love it. Love it. Thank you for that advice, Izzy. I will apply it tonight.
I think even for me as a big brother, I'm taking these down too because, um, sometimes I think sometimes we can seek for that, like
Right.
in different areas, or just desire it, and when we don't, maybe when it's not happening, it could just have an effect on your confidence. It could just make you feel kind of insecure or question your worth. And yeah, I mean, shoot, I gotta start. I'm writing these down too. So this is
Yes. Hello.
um awesome. I got a question. How can tween and young girls use healthy habits, because there's different habits we can use, but how can they use healthy habits to boost their confidence in any situation? And do you have any examples of that?
Um, yes. So I go by this. Morning routines set the day off right. Night routines give you good sleep, and habits make sure that you're healthy and thriving. And some of my favorite habits are drinking a lot of water, because water is very it's very good for you. And um, don't really know how to explain it, but drink water. And also moving your body every day. That doesn't mean like um a workout, or it doesn't have to be a workout. It could be yoga, it could be walking, or it could just be meditating with some stretches. It doesn't have to be intense. I feel like social media also makes it like, if you're going to move your body, it has to be an ab workout or something. And the last tip I would say is reading,
Mm.
because you can learn a lot of new vocabulary, new habits, and reading for me is also very fun and relaxing. I like to read when it's raining outside to set the mood and like light a candle. And yeah, I think that's it.
I love
Love
that
that.
because yeah, you said the way you described it was just there's different ways to like be healthy and actually treat yourself. It doesn't have to all be physical because I think that's a lot of people think, but reading, meditating, stretching, just getting something to move your body, even move your mind in a way, like that I feel like that is just prime self-care. Like honestly, like it's really prime self-care. Not selfish care, but self-care because I think it's a quote like if you're on an airplane, you don't put on other people's masks before yours. You got to kind of attend to yourself and make sure you're pouring into yourself so that you can pour out to others. So this is great. That was great.
Right. Another thing I love too, I love when you talked about how you create, you light a candle and you create the mood. I've
Yeah.
been really big in that. That's one of my goals this year too, is, I ask myself, how can I create an environment? Because a lot of things could be done, even if whether it's for yourself, but also with other people. It's like I ask myself the question, hey, what can I do to set the mood to let it be a mood of peace, or let it be a mood of joy, or let it be a more mood of excitement? Because a lot of people can be inspired by you giving off that energy. But, we're talking about, self-care and taking care of ourselves. We can do the same thing with ourselves. It's exciting because I'm like, wow, hey, me, I'm a creative mood for me. Okay. All right, let's go, me. Just being in that mode of doing that is brilliant, but it's easy not to do because sometimes we can think of it as, what, are you crazy? No, it's smart, and it's a great way, and you can do it at any time of the day. So love, love, love that. Yes.
Let's go.
So yes, let's go. How do we say it, CJ? Cook up.
Let's cook up. Let's cook.
Let's cook. Let's cook. CJ's teaching me. I'm trying to keep up, Izzy. The only reference I have is the frame of reference I have right now is the 90s. So he's trying to help me up.
Get you.
Catch me up.
Got you, man.
So, Izzy, we're curious. We are curious. What's next for Izzy?
So, I have a book signing at my school on February 9th, and
Mm-hmm.
my school and my friends are so supportive about my career and what I want to do. And it's so fun. And I want to release the book in April, but I'm not sure what the topic is yet.
Mm.
I have some ideas floating around, but I don't really know.
Wow.
Part of it,
That's
like, man, about
mm.
3 books. Another one. That's just awesome. I think you're gonna keep and continue to inspire a lot of youth to do that, just to do great things. Like I think there's a limit where people think like, oh yeah, when you turn 18, that's when life starts, or like but that's not true. That's not true at all. And matter of fact, I think you're opening up a whole new world for the people around you.
I mean, you have people who are already inspired by you. I just think about it. I'm like, man, imagine all the other people that you'll get to inspire. You'll be that instrument that's like, you're inspiring tweens, you're inspiring parents. Parents are going to be, I'm already inspired. Parents are going to be inspired if you're inspiring their kids. Absolutely. So you get it, it's so cool that you get that opportunity to do that. That must be such a great feeling at the end of the day. So I have a question for you. Where can one find you? So they're saying, Izzy, I need to get this book. I'm watching this podcast. I'm listening to this podcast. I need to get this book. How do I get my hands on this book? I mean, Carl, he's talking about some chapters. What's that? What's the deal? Where can I get this book if I want to get this book?
Okay, so you can go on my website, which is um www.izzywhitney, and you could just search that up on Google or Safari. And there's also free um there's free
Ooh.
tools on my website, and I think those are very helpful too. You can print them out. It comes in a PDF file, I think, and um I try them out, and they're really good. I really like them. And but if you want to like DM me or talk to me, my Instagram is I am Izzy Whitney. And I'm also going to be writing on my blog on my website too for some updates about confidence is key and maybe the book that's coming up in April.
Let's go.
Let's
Only thing.
go.
It's awesome.
Love it. Hey, that's the book, y'all. And number one new release. Are you kidding me? What? You better pay attention. Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness. Look at that. Look at that.
We're having too
Oh
much
my
fun with this,
goodness.
y'all.
I know we're having, hey, if you don't have, you got to have fun. Go for it, Izzy. Show them what you got. Boom. Right there. Right there. Oh man, Izzy, we're excited. We are fans. We are fans of you, and we are rooting for you all the way from the East Coast, all the way from Boston, Massachusetts. And we're excited for what you've already done. I mean, like, again, CJ mentioned you've already been on this podcast, and now you're here in season 2 with another book. And then you're
Right.
talking about a fourth book. I'm like, that's just amazing. You are creating a movement.
Yes.
So yes, please keep doing what you're doing. Please, please. The youth need it, the parents need it, we parents need it. And you're such an inspiration. Thank you so much for all that you do. And blessings to you and your family. It's just you all are great, making such a great impact on this world. Please keep doing it. Please. Is there anything you would like to leave us with? Anything you'd like to say to our community?
Um, that this book is not just for girls because even boys can use it, and but
Awesome. Yes. Yep. Hey,
Yeah.
I know I'm
And
a
adults, really, guys, there's some good stuff in here. You really should get this book. You could read it. I'm planning, Izzy, just to let you know, I'm planning to read this with my family. whether they want to hear me or not. I'm gonna be walking around the house reading this. Like, listen, you need to listen to me. I got something to say. Actually, really, Izzy has something to say, but I'm gonna say it for her through the book.
The book.
So the book. Izzy, thanks for joining us today. Such a great time. And you want to say it, CJ?
1, 2, 3.
There you have it.
Hey.
Boom. We hope you enjoyed our podcast. If you would be so kind, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. And or if you're listening to any of our platforms, whether it's Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whichever one, please be so kind to give us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed the podcast. And we'll talk to you soon.